Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us for this month's edition of Insights. This month, our student panel comes from across the district, as always, and Dr. Waddell is joining us today. We're going to be discussing community service. Dr. Waddell, freshmen and sophomores representing each feeder pattern, are here today to talk about that. The students have come up with questions that they want to discuss with Dr. Waddell, so we're going to have a great conversation today. I'd first like to introduce Dr. Stephen Waddell, the LISD Superintendent of Schools. Thank you, as always, for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
How about all the students? Introduce yourselves and tell us where you guys are from.
I'm Kennedy Monroe from the Colony High School. I'm in 9th grade.
I'm Spencer Roark. I'm a 9th grader at Hebron High School.
I'm Armando Valdez, and I'm a freshman at Flower Mound High School.
I'm Sami Shahzad. I'm a 10th grader at Marcus High School.
I'm Austin Warren. I am a freshman at Lewisville High School.
And Austin is going to kick us off with our questions today. As we mentioned, we're going to talk about community service. So Austin, why don't you lead us off?
Dr. Waddell, do you think community service is a good addition to high school resumes?
I don't think there's any doubt of that. I think they've always been important for your resume, applying to college or work. To show that you're involved in the community, it shows you're a more well-rounded person. You know, grades are the first thing in college they look at, but I think things like community service have very, very high weight in terms of getting into the college of your choice. And I think that's actually becoming more the case. More and more admissions offices are looking for people who've been involved in the community. So I think that's a very desirable and very important thing to put on your resume.
Yes, sir.
Glad we're talking about this with freshmen and sophomores because it's important even at that level to really start thinking about your resume and thinking about where you're going to go to college and how you're going to advance your education.
I think you're absolutely right. That is important, and I think being freshmen and being sophomores, you've got plenty of time to get involved and do a lot of different activities, and I think it's wise to start thinking about that, you know, when you first start your high school career.
Sami, why don't you share your question with us?
What are the plans for getting students involved in community service?
I'd like to kind of point at our new strategic design, and last year when we were working on developing that, when we got to the point of the group we call our strategic design team, who actually wrote our new vision, beliefs, mission, and goals, when we were talking about the vision, we spent a great deal of time, and these were mostly community people. We spent a great deal of time talking about service, and we were talking about student service. It was important to the members of the design team that service be a part of a student's career. The members felt like students needed to be involved in the community and get used to active community service, not just when they're in high school, but throughout their lifetimes, to see that they play a role, an important role in their communities, and it's important to be a participant and to give back. Now, I think in all of our high schools, we have a lot of organizations are involved in community service. Student Council, National Honor Society. I know a number of our sports teams, and as well as other extracurricular groups, require community service.
I kind of want to do a panel question really quickly. Obviously, if you're here to talk about community service, that's a passion of yours. So do you guys have a particular passion for a certain cause that you have gotten involved in so far in your high school career? Or something that you'd like to get involved in down the road?
I think definitely with like homeless shelters and like food pantries, showing students how to like help others in their community, since the strategic design is all about like our future of how to be like leaders of tomorrow and how to help each other.
At my church, I was just informed that we have a kind of farming program, I guess you could call it, where we can plant fruits and vegetables into the ground and give them fresh fruits and vegetables that they won't be able to really purchase at like Walmart or anywhere because it gets expensive.
Right.
And so I think I would like to get involved in that and help more with those because I know a lot of places don't really do that. They just give cans.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that environment would also be one of my focuses that I want to do because I'm in the Boy Scouts of America, and that's a big thing we talk about is environment and cleaning up our trash and stuff. So I just think that would be a really good factor in community service for me that I would help out with.
What's great is we've got so many different choices, so many avenues
Yeah.
to give, which is wonderful. Armando, why don't you share your question?
How often do you participate in community service?
I think that's a big part of my job. You know, LIC is a very large entity, and we're a huge part of the community, so it's important to be involved in the community. And I participate in chambers of commerce. I'm active there, active with our education foundation, communities and schools. I'm involved with a planning group for the North Texas area, Vision North Texas, and really many other groups. I think a definition of leadership is that you give back, you serve. I've talked to a lot of students in various situations where I've been asked to come and speak, maybe career day, things like that, and what do I do in my job? And I talk about volunteerism as being a large part. And I say, you know, what I've seen is people who are leaders are heavily involved in the community. And if you want to be in a leadership role, you need to think about that. You need to realize that to be a leader means to be involved and volunteer and helping others and making sure that your community is healthy and it's a good place to live for the people that are citizens there. So I think for me, I do it a lot. I enjoy doing it. I think for you all as young people, getting close to college and then moving on to your careers, if you think about your place in society, you think about the jobs, the careers you might want to have, about maybe being leaders, running your own company, doing things like that. I think to do that and to do well means that you need to be engaged in your community and give back to your community.
I'm really glad that you had touched on strategic design earlier because that's a really significant component to Spencer's question. Why don't you mention that?
How committed is LIC to get more involved in the local community?
Well, we probably talked about that a little bit already, and I like the fact that you mentioned the strategic design. You brought it up and talked a little bit about what it is. I think Lewisville ISD has always felt like being involved in the community. Schools are involved in their communities. They're a core part. You go to into rural areas, the community is the school, really. Mm-hmm. I think LISD, that has a history of over 100 years, when once upon a time it was Lewisville was a small farming community. The school played a huge role in terms of the existence of the town. Well, I think that still remains, even though the district's gotten a lot larger. So I think the place of the school in terms of being involved in the community has been a traditional thing that it's always done and takes seriously. But with the new strategic design, it has been totally about community. Just the way it was written. We involve thousands of people in getting engaged and talking about where we go as a district, asked their opinions and got their feedback on that led to eventually our new vision and mission statement. And you referred to the vision. Thank you for that. I like to hear students show that they're aware of it and what it is and internalize that. The goals, the vision itself, the goals, the mission, speak to getting involved in the community, participating in the community, engaging the community. It's a huge component of what that's all about. And so both in terms of encouraging our students to be active and to participate and give back and serve, whether it's through community school organizations or like the Boy Scouts or the church, as you two mentioned. we're all in different roles. We're students one day, we're in church the next, or we're in Boy Scouts, and we find different facets of our lives and way that we can serve. So from the strategic design standpoint, whether it's focusing on our students and what they can do, or the way we interact and involve the community in our schools, it's a huge part. And I'm glad that in our strategic design, so much attention was given to the community. I think that's just going to be a real strong piece to that.
Kennedy's got our final question for the day. Why don't you share that with us?
How does LISD help the community members?
How does it help the community members? Well, the most recent example is the food drive we just did. I think, our core business is to educate our students and get them an education. I believe strongly in public schools, and I think maybe the greatest community service that we do is educating our young people, giving them a good education and an opportunity to do what they want to do in their life, to go to college, get a job, or go, we're here at the Career Center East, get a license or certificate to work and get a job in a field that one wants to work in, and to make contributions that way. That's the most important thing we do, and I think how we benefit our community, that's probably the most important way we benefit our community. I think teaching our students good citizenship, what it means to be a good citizen, how to get along well with others, to understand their place in the community, is a way that really benefits our community. But as we've been talking about here, the idea of volunteerism, that we're part of a larger whole, that we have a role to play, not just in our lives, but in helping others, that we can make a difference in other people. We have other things that I think about. Circle of friends. I think all of our high schools participate in that, a sense of how we can make people's lives better, ennoble them. I think the ideas of living in a positive and healthy way, schools can contribute to that. So I think it's multifaceted. I think we benefit our communities by benefiting our students, but I think we also benefit directly in the things that we do in the way turning out good citizens, emphasizing the importance of involvement and volunteerism and service to others. I think, and as the mayor once said, and said many times, he said the greatest asset we have in our communities is our schools. They keep communities healthy and they build communities and make our communities a place that people want to live in. So I think that's a great question, and I think it's one that's worth reflecting on a little bit.
We've had a lot of great questions today. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate your time and we appreciate your interest, and we look forward to seeing how you progress throughout your high school career. We've got a couple of years left with you, so we're excited about that.
And we look forward to your contributions in an ongoing way in your community.
We know they'll be important and meaningful. We want to thank you for joining us today. I want to thank Dr. Waddell for his time as well.
You're welcome.
We'll see you again in December. Have a great day.